here. There's that, there's all that. It's like there's nothing here, man. So I had a really great time hanging out with some friends. Like I said, the last couple days, it was just awesome. The elevation was real, felt the elevation spiritually and just that peace of mind. And then, yeah, I brought all my stuff back here and it was crazy because my brain is like, bro, like, what are we doing here left? Even though like my new place hasn't lined up yet, my brain is like ready for the new adventure. It's like creating it. So yeah. So, I know for myself that being personally accountable and opening up and sharing helps with getting things rolling. If you have a river, but you have something that's damming up the river, you're going to have no circulation and that river is going to get as disgusting as it can possibly get because you got no more movement. So that's one beautiful thing that accountability do for yourself is you'll finally get some movement rolling. And it's 3:20. I just been sleeping the last like I don't know 3 or 4 hours because I got here and I brought all my stuff back and I was like I know what I need to do. It's to leave and to go work at the Starbucks, but I genuinely was like I just want the next thing, man. And it's like we obviously can't be there. And there's things I wanted to do. There are people I wanted to hang out with. There was stuff that I thought was going to happen to that just is not happening. And so it's just this is this thing that I'm learning right now. It's like you have to be willing to just go and be accountable to what you said you were going to do, even if everything is kind of falling apart. Back when I was in high school, I did a really good job of continuing to go to running stuff. I mean, my podcast, I've been doing my podcast 2 episodes a week for at least 3 or 4 years. So it's like no matter what, we're still gonna show up. We're still gonna do it. So I look at the clock now. I look at this timeline that I didn't necessarily want, where I choose to have a lack of ambition instead of just being accountable and just getting the boring work done and getting some work done and just getting that flow going. And we'll see what happens. You can tell a little bit of like what God tell you when you have certain things not happening and you've done basically everything you can possibly do to make it happen. And so you just have to chill out at some point and be extremely accountable to what you want to do from point, and you have to just kind of move forward. So yeah, it's just I know that doing this will help me to be like, okay, yes, I still exist. Let going. This will give me some kind of fuel, and me in the future will read this and be like, watch this again and be like, dude, that dude was in a room with a blank wall. What is going on? But it's just like vibe. It's just great. We're just living. So I'm just grateful that I got to live here for a little bit. My brain is definitely like, dude, why haven't we moved out yet? Well, it's like, well, here's how the math works out. The person that I'm buying the place from, the new contract, it's much more expensive than this place. And the people that I was living here with, they were giving me a good deal. So shout out to them, for real, for real, for real. Such a good deal. I'm thankful. However, God's taking me to another place. And this guy, he has his place by Friday. And we haven't been able to contact the apartment managers that are somehow going to get all this cooked up. And really, I don't put my trust in. I'm like, God, if this is going to happen, you got to do something. Because I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm doing everything. So, Kobe, I'm doing all right, bro. I appreciate the love, bro. I appreciate the love. So, it's just like, this is temporary. So, be patient and trust the process. But it's true. This has been a thing in my life, different points, where I get so excited and then I'm just not willing to let's just go. And it's okay if like literally nothing's happening. And it's okay if I'm being too loud or something like that. It's like God is aware of the energy that he has given to me. He's aware of the breath he's given to me. He's aware of the clarity he's given, aware of the love he's given to me. And these things have to be spread or I will literally like blow up because I just can't handle it, man. And this is where the personal accountability is huge. So it's like, I know I'm not going to be in a relationship anytime soon. So let's just work on helping out myself. Let's work on improving my, bank account and all these other things. Because there's just been all these different times recently where, it just seems like it's just not gonna happen, bro. So just be grateful for what I have. I'm out of my parents' house. I moved out 6 months ago. That's awesome. I'm the life of my dreams. I write a weekly newsletter to help people be better instruments for Christ. Doing a newsletter webinar tomorrow. I'm in the USA. Yeah. And I mean, on the bright side, I was kind of planning on doing this around 3 o'clock. So we're still chilling. We're chilling. And it's so great because it's just like, if you just get a couple of those things done that you need to do. This is for the people that, you know, you need that little boost or you need that reminder. It's just like, you really do just need to get like a couple of things done that reinforce your desired identity, and you're chilling. You're doing just fine. Larry Gaming, welcome. I did a gaming YouTube channel back when I was in high school, and yeah, it's like, if I knew what the path forward was, it's like, okay, I'm preparing to serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's longer term, but it's like I was doing that, and then I was doing this gaming YouTube channel, and I was doing track, and so it's like, just do anything in any of those things, and you're chilling. For me, like, I don't know, it's sort of like you just sort of have to do what you got to do. So I got this webinar I need to finish working on. I got to get the newsletter out for today because it comes out every Monday, and my brain is just like, it's like, I thought we moved out of here because I was literally out for 4 nights in a row with some friends, and because that's what needed to happen. And my brain is like, what's going on? So there's a lot of ways to look at this. One, I'm grateful to make some content here in my basement season, make some content here. That's fun. And we're just chilling. So that's it. It's like we're here for a couple more days, and that's it. I'm like probably not coming back here again. The older couple I'm staying with, they are both pretty old, so they will both probably. I mean, it sounds morbid. They'll, they're. I have less. They have less time than I do, so we'll just say that. But they're just amazing people. So I'm grateful I got to, live in their basement for a little bit. I'm grateful. God will prepare a way for you to make whatever needs to happen in your life happen. And that's a comfort. There's been times where I've been like, all right, I'm looking at the writing on the wall, and I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna happen. I have no idea. And that's where you just have to trust, like, God is able to do things that would boggle our imaginations, that would blow our minds, but you do have to trust him. So that's the beautiful thing too. He's loyal. See, he's loyal to you. He takes care of you. He's aware of you. He sees you. He understands you. He cares about you. And he knew that I was going to, if you want to call it dropping the ball, by sleeping in, like, just, I got up, ate some food, did some writing, which is good. And then, yeah, I don't know. And fallen back asleep once I got here, because like I have all my stuff, and I thought for sure, I mean, I just knew what the next thing to do was, but I just didn't do it. So yeah, I think of like back when I did my first sale, or no, not my first sales job, when I was working for the sales company. I had an internship, and there was one point where my numbers were slipping, and that was okay because I was an intern. It was okay. However, it kind of becomes like, okay, are you going to own these numbers? It doesn't mean saying that these numbers are me. I am this, I am this, and I'll never be more than this. It's, okay, how do I make this better than what it is? And so that requires changing up things that you were doing before. So it's just basic math. I mean, if you want to get more sleep, you're going to have to go to bed earlier. If you want to have more energy, you're going to want to move more throughout the day. I'm on a 8-day streak of walking 10,000 steps every day. So I need to keep that streak going because that is super important to me. And so, I mean, if we really break this down at the most basic level, it's, okay, I need to make sure I walk, another 10,000 or so steps today, and need to do some work in for my startup. And then, yeah, just do all that I was planning on doing, but I slept in and I lost some valuable time. Lost time is never found again, in case you were wondering. I can't go when I was like 18 or 19, or I can't, and there's some, I would never change anything at all. I'm in a very, very good place. And the better you do in the present, the more you're able to see, like with the past, right? All right, we're chilling. I mean, yeah, highs and lows, there's difficulty, there's times where you really just held yourself back so bad. And I look at some times in college where I just wanted, like, the dude just needed to live a little bit. Just give him some slack, some encouragement. Like, he was pushing himself so hard, and there's no need to do that. Like, just get done what you need to get done. I think that's a something I'm still really working on. Is sometimes I let my feelings dictate too much what to do next. Like if I'm feeling like way, way, way tired or overwhelmed or whatever else, like you really just, it only takes like 10 or 15 minutes. I have my watch and it has a timer for 15 minutes. So you can just go and be in a different place in 15 minutes. You can take a shower and get ready to go and leave in 15 minutes, like for the most part. And that's a state change. So, like, you may not feel a million times better, but you will feel better. I've always felt better after taking a cold shower, after, getting outside and walking around, and that's good. So, yeah, it's gonna show. Like these little cracks, these little things, they will get through, and slowly it's going to sink you if you don't really pay attention to what is going on, and also just cherishing the here and now. I have so many different videos, I have so many pictures and stuff of me just like having these special moments here, and I really feel like I did cherish my time here. I thought it was going to be, I was here for about 5 months, a little over 5 months. I thought that it was going to last longer, and no. So yeah, it's playing the game that you are playing and playing it at the best possible level. See, I'm playing an infinite game with, getting my newsletter, my books, and all these things out to higher levels, and that's a great thing. However, it's a game that requires consistent attention and work, and I can expect to have what some other person is having who's played in somebody else's game for 20 years or something and has gone very good. That's how, a lot of these corporate business works. And I have nothing against that. I think that can be a great path and stuff. It's just not super what I would like to do. I like having my creative freedom and being able to do different stuff. Am I open to doing something else in that area? Yes, but right now my main thing is developing skills and to get myself into a better place overall. So yeah, that's that. I don't know. And also if you're feeling like a craving like to do something stupid or whatever, I don't know. Like that craving will eventually go away. For me, like creating, getting myself out there like this, like I feel like I've said all that needs to be said. It's like 14 minutes later, I just talked to a camera for this whole time, but it's helped me to, yeah, get some things out. And I've already said this, but like I'm planning to, there's a lot of things I'm planning on things, go with. Right now we just have this blank wall. So that's all, that's it. That's all I have. Once you have a blank wall, all you have is you. And it's like, okay, well, how am I doing? And it's like, well, I'm actually doing really well. Like there's that quote that says like a lot of problems with the world are man's inability to sit in a room alone for like 15 minutes or an hour or something like that. I could do that. Not super necessary for me to do that, but I could do that. I would be able to, work through all these things, and I've been praying tons and things have been overall good. It's just, there's this higher step that I need to climb up to and live in. And sometimes it can be, I can put so much pressure on myself, and I need to figure out how to not do that so that I can be a lot more patient with myself. Because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, this isn't a super high average piece of content, but it's a piece of content nonetheless. I'm using this small window of time to create this, and then I can go look back, see like, oh yeah, I did that. So that's cool. So I don't know. When you try to do something a number of times and it just doesn't seem to flow, like you just can't do it, dude. It's a waste of time. So yeah, I mean, it's humbling to get more information, to learn, to see these things kind of happen. At the end of the day, we're all working through something. We're all building through something. We're all trying to get to new places and trying to be, yeah, just trying to be better. So, yeah, we're just here, the blank wall fight. It's kind of crazy. So, I do have some stuff. I do have stuff. It's just packed up. And right now, obviously, I feel better. But yeah, like after all those naps and stuff, and my brain was like, because I know that there's stuff that I'd like to get done, and there's this unknown gap where it's sort of like in a video game where it's like, okay, I know I need to beat this level, the Stormy Shore level, and then I can get to the boss, Donkey Kong Country Returns. It's like I know I can get there. It's just I don't know what that level is going to be like. I just have to jump into the level. That's the part with video games is there's like that loading screen. And loading screen in this case would be like me getting out of the house, because that's something I have to do regardless, and then just start walking. And then you're rolling. Then you're rolling and you can embrace the new level. But here at home base, it's sort of like you're chilling at the title screen or you're chilling at the world select screen, and it's like, what are we doing? It's like we're just doing nothing. Like play the game. Play the game. And that's not to be said in a unkind manner. It's just like show up and do what you've been gifted to be able to do. Like I'm working for a friend's startup right now. That's a gift. I'm working on a lot of other things. That's also a gift. That's awesome. I'm very blessed in that way. And I can afford to not appreciate blessings. So I know I think another problem or struggle is sometimes I feel like I need to do all these things for all these different people. But it's like, no, just you can make space for those kind of things, but you don't have to force yourself to try to make all these things happen. You're not going to be able to do everything with the time that you have. Life is just way too short. I think it's a great place to be where you recognize you have so little time, so you need to make the most of every single second of time. I feel like I'm at that point. I have a sense of urgency. I want to make the most of things. I don't want to waste any time. However, that can be done to an extreme where you can think, oh no, I have to do this and I have to get out of the house at this point and whatever. And no, that's not the case. What it really comes down to is doing what you said you would do and just getting the ball to move forward a little bit. So, yeah. And having no 0 day days. No 0 day days is the idea. Because anything above zero compounds, as Sahil Bloom said. So, yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe perhaps I'm looking forward to the new place I'm moving into a bit too much. Maybe I'm putting it at this really high expectation. However, I know that when I move there, I'm gonna have to have a higher higher output, higher level, higher gameplay, basically, for myself. And I think the nice thing about my new place is that the loading screens will be much smaller, shorter to get to where I want to be. So I'm a lot closer to working out that Starbucks I'm going to walk over to. It's like, what else am I going to do? I'm not going to sit here and get work done here. My brain needs to move. When my brain stops moving, it just slows everything down. So yeah, that's that. We're just grateful here, grateful to have breath, grateful to be living this life, and I just want to live it better. So if you Dallin can just be chilling and vibing. So tomorrow I can wake up and be like, yeah, this hasn't worked out. This hasn't worked out. These things haven't came together yet. However, yesterday I was able to finish this and I'll get that done, and I was able to, keep the ball rolling. That's what you want. So yeah. So try some way to make this actionable. You look at all of the things that you've done or want to do in your life, and you consider, okay, well, how am I doing at being accountable to myself for those things. I want to experience more joy, and so I've been off and on, but most recently I've gone back into it of tracking how I'm feeling when I'm doing, how I'm doing in the moment. And I found out that creating and things and going on adventures always puts that, if it's out of 10, it always puts at a higher level. So I have my experiencing joy tracker, and that's something that was talked about in the Motivational Hacker, which is a super, super helpful book. Super helpful book to be able to see these things more clearly. So yeah, having the courage to be seen. That's a lot of this too. And to not worry about stuff that is done and over with, it's taken care of. All those days, all the days leading up to this one have been taken care of. There may still be some baggage associated with them, but is not mine to carry. Christ has already carried that, and all I need to do up and cherish the here and now. Because yeah, like there'll be a day where I'll come back to this, like, look at me, literally just blank wall, bro. That's it. That's where we're at. So that's the beautiful thing, though. It's a blank page. You can do anything from here. You can, yeah. There's not really any limits. The only limits are the ones that you continuously put on yourself and say, like, okay, this is what you got to do, and blah 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 blah. It's helpful when you are able to bounce your ideas off of people, so you hear yourself say these things. And that's where therapy can be super helpful. I did have a therapist for a little bit of time after college, which was extremely helpful because I was able to share some of these things I was stressed out about. I was able to hear this, third person say, hey, like, I feel like you're doing pretty okay. Like, yeah. They've talked to tons of people. And I remember the therapist I met with, she told me, like, so what separates you from these other people that I've met with is that you come back and you've actually done what I asked you to do. You come back when you've new ideas, you're seeing these things, and there's actually progress being made. She's like, I have people that I'll tell them to do like this simple thing, and they literally haven't done anything. Like, how are we supposed to move this conversation forward? It's basically, it's very difficult. So there has to be something that's blocking the way. There's something that's getting in the way, whatever it might be. Some past story you're telling yourself, or anything, something. Like, to get to a higher level, like there's probably gonna be some kind of boss you have to take down, and you might have to play that boss over and over again until you figure it out. And you have to look at weapons or whatever you want to call it in the video game and be like, this is enough. Yes, you'll get something better once you do well and you beat the level, but it will get better. It will get better. Dimitrik, I appreciate it very much. God is blessing me for real. He wants me to be better about just, going along with the flow, like, just catch it. Just catch it. It's like being at the airplane or the airport, and you've done good stuff, you've done some good things, and yeah, you have your plane leaving, and you just there's no feeling or something you need to have to catch the plane. Just catch the plane. That's it. And then the plane will provide all the feelings and everything that you need to have. That's it. So if the plane is work, just catch the plane of work, and we'll provide all the feelings and whatever else you need to have. You don't need to have like these like amazing feelings before you get to work. Just get to work, and everything else will flow with good time. But what this personal accountability does is it helps you to be like, you know what? Like, I want to be living at a higher level, and how can I do that? And that's a very powerful way to look at it, is to say, how do that? How can maybe you look at somebody who's like, okay, they're doing some really good stuff. Maybe they were able to learn a skill and get a pretty high paying job, if thing you'd like to do. It's like, well, how do I do that too? And there might be some roadblocks or things that come up, and it's like, oh, like, I got to figure out, this thing or this thing. Once you start figuring that out, like, all of a sudden you're unlocking your game, dude. You're unlocking the game. That's a beautiful thing. And when I've done this in my life, when I've had times where this has happened, You don't have to tell everybody everything. Like, that actually could be very detrimental. So when you're telling somebody about something really great that happened in your life, it's almost like you're taking them out of their world, which may look great, which may not look awesome at all. It may just be whatever. You're taking them out of their world and you're showing the world, and you're like, oh, there's this cool thing that happened, or there's this bonus level, or look at this amazing way that I got blessed. And they could just look at it and they'll just see it through their eyes, and they might be like, whatever, dude, that's cool. It's like, to this amazing, amazing thing that happened in your life. And they're just like, that's cool. So you got to be intentional about that. There's scriptural backing for this. Luke 2:19, where it's like, Mary kept all these things and she pondered them in her heart. So Mary didn't go on the Facebook of that day or newspapers and be like, hey, I'm going to have this child. It's going to be the Son of God. She didn't do that. No, she let history speak for itself. Now we all can look like, oh, yeah. And by the time anybody of any real significance found out about it, like King Herod, her and Joseph were outie. They were outie. They were gone. They were outie. So it just comes down to really just trusting the process and cherishing the game of life that you get to live, and not getting stressed or upset about it, because like, you're the only one that gets to play this game. Life is a multiplayer game. Like, you could have different people come in to help you out. Ultimately, you're the one who walks around it every day and gets to be the custodian of it, more or less. Are you going to like take care of this? Would you like this to get better, or to play over the same world over and over and over again until you run out of game tokens or nickels, or whatever analogy you want to bring up? Because we know that, like, eventually you and I, we're not going to be here anymore. So, and facing that is helpful. And on a basic level, you look at being in college, for example. You're not going to be in college forever. That would be madness. That would be madness. For one, you'd run out of money. Two, I don't think your mental state would be very great. Like, after being in college for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years longer than you were supposed to, or I don't know. We need to give ourselves some grace. But generally, like, if you're getting a 4-year degree, 4 or 5 or 6 is usually the max. But there's people it takes even longer than that, and that's okay. It's just, I think it just comes down to recognizing that there's a lot of things that can be done to make this experience better. Maybe not to fast track it so you get through it quicker, but there are ways to find more joy so that you have more to work with on the other side of the fence. And that's exciting. It's funny too, because like, I have my feed. Like, you go on my feed, you see like Mario Kart, Alex Ramosi, church stuff, and basketball, and that's what you see when you get on my feed. You get on like Susie Lou's feed, and it's like, I don't know, like Hello Kitty, stock prices, or traveling, like all these different things. And so we get to really influence that, what that looks like. So that's a gift. That's a gift. It's so crazy too how our brains in the algorithm, like, the algorithm wants to understand your brain so bad. So you spend so much time with your social media and stuff that you just spend so much time with it. And not only just that, it's that so your brain feels so like triggered that it has to spend more time with the social media stuff. And yeah, so this is where okay, so let's kind of wrap this up. So we got the reactive path. We're not really doing anything. We're just sort of like, whatever. That's here. That's like, you are just kind of going through the motions. We're just kind of chilling. We're just kind of coasting. This, for me, is like the lowest level of life you can possibly live, because you're just going with the flow. Somebody else says this, it's like, okay, whatever, and you're just kind of going with the flow. Then you have this, which is like the middle ground, where it's like we're just gonna do stuff. We're gonna plan some days here and there. We're going to, you know, we're gonna be more intentional about our choices. We're not going to throw away our choices or our time and attention out of nowhere to something that's a complete waste of time. Um, and you're like doing okay, like you're here, but where I'm trying to be is up here. It's like we be basically not even you can't basically can't even see it like on this phone screen, and it casts a shadow too. Here we don't really cast a shadow there, but here we cast like a real visible shadow, and people might think you're crazy. That's where you're planning out your days. You're being super intentional, saying no to what you need to say no to, and you're overall just being more accountable to yourself. And you're also giving yourself a little more celebration than you would at these. We're just sort of getting through. You're recognizing, oh, yeah, you said no to a thing. That's awesome. We celebrate that. That's awesome. And just keep on going. And so you plan and you make moves and you plan this out and you continuously try and work to make the game better and better and better. So, and a lot of that comes down to coming up with a plan of like what you want to do next and then doing that thing and moving along and not letting yourself fall into like these lower levels. Not like there's anything bad if that did happen, but it's just not you. So why in the world would you let that happen? And you stay true to that. You stay true to like, okay, let's just live at this higher level, be extremely accountable and move things forward. Then you'll see the blessings in due time. So it might take years, it might take a really long time. I mean, I look at with me building my newsletter with some other stuff, like there's a lot of social media posts and stuff that I made, and it can seem like not really making progress. But I look at, I have a core base of people that have been reading my stuff and been, watching videos that I've made and stuff for a long time. That's a really beautiful thing. And yeah, just kind of have to be grateful for that. So it just comes down to, like, just to wrap everything up, comes down to really cherishing the game of life that you've been given, wanting to do more with it, to not waste the opportunities, because there will be bonus levels, there will be things that you will miss out on just regardless. Even if you're living like this super top tier level, you're still going to miss stuff, And that's okay, because you'll be elevating and growing anyway. You'll still be elevating and growing. There's just some things you will miss because you didn't realize those things even existed. And that's a humbling thing to recognize. And then there's all those things that exist that are not for you, that are not helpful. And any time spent with them is just going to be a waste of time, period. Just going to be a waste of time. So, I mean, you can write down things that work well for you. For me, I know walks are really great. So let's schedule more walks. Let's be accountable to ourselves. Let's not beat ourselves up for not going on a walk. Because you can solve that so fast. You can solve it really fast. And I remember, we'll probably wrap it up with this personal anecdote. So I remember when I was going to make it on this flight. So this is perfect because we're just wrapping this all up. You've got like a flight, right? I was going to be getting on this flight. This is May 4th or 3rd, 2023. I was going to get on this flight to go see my friend get married. Super exciting, right? Super exciting. We were going to leave. And then when I was on the way to getting on my plane, I found myself doing some writing, doing my thing. And I got so in the flow state and I looked at it and I was like, oh no, I don't have very much time. But that's okay, because we'll just get on the plane and leave. Again, what we were talking about before. We might have some feelings of stress, anxiety, whatever. It's like, we're just going to get on the plane and leave, and the plane will provide all the feelings that we need to have, and we'll be chilling, we'll be good, we'll be whoosh, 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 whoosh. That's going to be you. It's like, that's going to be you. Like, it's like, that's cool. So let's do that. But what ended up happening was I realized, whoa, I don't have my luggage with me. Like, I had my backpack, but I didn't have well, I think I had my luggage, but I didn't have my backpack. So I felt there was this lack of weight. And I'm like, this is weird. And I just was like, plane's boarding, almost boarding. And I was like, what am I gonna do? So I ended up running with my stuff. So I was like running and went and talked to, the people at TSA. And, they're like, yeah, we can kind of look, we're not sure if we can find it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I was like, I needed, this needs to happen now. And it was just stressful and it was everything. And of course, I missed my flight. So by like 10. So they were able to find my thing that I ran over. By then, it was like, you can't go in. It's like, what? It's right there. It's literally right there. But they have their protocol where when they shut doors, and they don't open it. I don't even think if you're the president, they'd open up for you. Well, for you wouldn't be on economy flying, but whatever. So after that, obviously, I was stressed. I was frustrated. I missed my flight. I'm not gonna be able to make it to my friend's wedding. My mom bought me this ticket. It was probably like 150, $200. And like this is obviously frustrating. And up having all these feelings, and I chose to pour those feelings in creation. And so my mom obviously was like, oh, so she was on her way to pick me up. And I made a podcast episode about this, about how, this could be the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because I love that frame. Heard it from, I think it was the Danny Man or Miranda podcast at some point from one of the guests. Ended up writing a bunch of poetry, talking to one lady, and now we have 0 people here. You're gonna miss the point. You're gonna miss the big moment. That's okay. You snooze, you lose, or you lose your cruise. I don't know. You're missing out. That's all I could say. So yeah, same with those people. It was great. And then my mom came and she picked me up. I told her about how, sorry, dropped the ball, didn't get on this flight. And she said something I'll never forget. And she just said, like, Dallin, this is a money problem. And it's like, not a big deal. Like, this is a money problem. That's all it was. I mean, obviously, there's a lack of personal accountability on my end. But the way to solve this was money. And so if this is a problem that can be solved with money, not really a problem at all. It was just generally her, how she kind of took it down for me. So I was super kind of her. And not only that, she's like, let's just go get Bojangles, because I was in North Carolina. So we went and got some Bojangles, which was a vibe. And I'll never forget that. I have a picture of me with my Bojangles and my mom, and we're just like, and it was just great. So that was top tier parenting for sure. And then the next day, I ended up getting on the flight, and my mom did buy another ticket, which is very kind of her. I definitely owe my mom a lot for just her patience with me and her love and everything like that. And I had a great time in Vegas. It was awesome. And got to see my friend get married. It was good. Yeah. So there's some other blessings that happened here and there. There's this person I ran into that I wouldn't have met if I'd caught that first plane. So, but missing out on something like that, it's necessary to remember, like, God can still work in this. If I had done what I quote unquote super wanted to do and gone to the place and just worked and hadn't taken that nap, then we wouldn't have made this. And this was good. This was good. I feel like we talked about things that I could definitely make into a podcast episode or something like that. Things that were useful. Like I think I did a good job of talking about like the video game analogy of life, of like improving your game, leveling it up, not settling for something less. I think there were some good things we talked about there, but that's it. I guess we'll maybe do this again tomorrow. I don't know. We've done this 2 days in a row, so maybe we will. Oh, actually, probably the thing that we'll do tomorrow is do the webinar. That's probably due, but I don't know. You can check out the newsletter and stuff if you want, but we just kind of talked about personal accountability. It's almost 4 o'clock, so I gotta get out of here and get the ball rolling and just get some things done. That's really it. Now I've taken some naps. Brain is kind of like it's like, well, there's some things that I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. Stuff happens out of nowhere sometimes. So we're just gonna move forward and yeah, trust the process. So that's that. Just can be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey. And I know that God will help you out with that. And I know that Jesus is the Christ. He has certainly helped me to overcome any struggles that I've had. He's put miracles into my life. He's put people into my life to lift me up, help me to keep going when I was feeling really just not great about myself. And I've experienced redemption and peace through following the teachings of Jesus Christ and in just giving my worries and cares to him. And I know that he can do the same for you, that he's coming back to this earth, and as we seek to follow him, then we'll find life greater and greater abundance. That's literally what it says in John 10:10. The thief cometh to steal and to destroy. I have come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundantly. So, yeah, just turn to the Lord and love him and trust him. He's got you. So, yeah, we're chilling. It was good. This was good. Like, blank wall. So, yeah. I guess I'll throw in this frame thing. Heard this from a podcast episode, really helpful for me. It's like, think of yourself as what you're doing right now, whether you're on your phone, whether you're in traffic, whatever. Imagine that the movie of your life or a movie started like right then and there in that moment with what you're doing. So for me, it'd be sitting here on this bed, just made this like YouTube live thing. And it's like, well, what would you do next? Like you can go anywhere from there. And that's, cause it's like in a movie, yeah, there's gonna be some highs and lows, but generally there's gonna be some character development, there's gonna be some action, there's gonna be some movement, there's gonna be some growth, there's gonna be all these different things. So it's like, well, what do you do next? So for me, if the movie was starting right here, it would definitely be go get my stuff and walk to the Starbucks and get some work done and just get a W. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I invite you to consider that. Like, if the movie was starting right here, right now, what would you like to have happen next? And go forth and do it. Make it so. Yeah, that's what my dad would say. Make it so. Make it so. So, yeah, that's it. I will see you when I see you. Subscribe for more and I will catch you later. Bye.